The clock on the office wall glowed a tired green, showing 8:47 p.m. Daniel stretched, his back popping softly, and looked over at Marcus. They were the last two left, a common sight on big project nights. Empty coffee cups and crumpled papers littered their desks, proof of a long day's work. "Almost done?" Daniel asked, his voice a little raspy from hours of talking. He was gathering his things, stuffing files into his worn backpack. Marcus leaned back in his chair, rubbing his eyes. "Just one last check on the numbers. This report has to be perfect." He flashed a tired but friendly smile. "Then I can finally see my bed." A comfortable quiet settled between them as Daniel finished packing. The hum of the computers was the only sound in the large, empty office. Daniel zipped his bag shut. "Well, I think I'm officially ready to call it a night. My brain feels like scrambled eggs." Marcus chuckled, pushing his chair back. "Tell me about it, but hey, we did it, another one in the books." He stood up, a tall figure even in the dim office light. "Ready to escape this place." As they walked towards the elevator, the silence of the empty building felt heavy around them. The night outside was ink black, with only a few streetlights piercing the gloom. Daniel shivered slightly, pulling his jacket tighter. "It's really late," Marcus observed, glancing at his watch as they reached the ground floor, "and pretty dark out there." He paused at the office entrance, looking at Daniel. "Hey, do you need a ride home? I'm heading that way, more or less." Daniel blinked, surprised but instantly grateful. He usually took the bus, which meant a cold walk to the stop and a longer journey. "Oh, wow, really?" "That would be amazing, Marcus, thank you. The bus would be quite a wait tonight." Marcus smiled, a genuine warmth in his tired eyes. "No problem at all. It's no trouble to drop you off. My car's just around the corner." He gestured towards the parking lot. "Come on, let's get you home." They stepped out into the chilly night air, the city sounds muffled by the late hour. Daniel felt a wave of relief wash over him. A warm car ride sounded much better than a cold bus. They settled into Marcus's car, the warmth from the heater a welcome comfort against the cold night. The low hum of the engine filled the space as Marcus pulled out of the parking lot. Daniel leaned back, feeling the day's stress begin to melt away. "Thanks again for this, Marcus," Daniel said, looking out at the passing streetlights. "You really saved me from a chilly wait." "Any time, Daniel," Marcus replied, his eyes on the road. "It's no trouble at all. Besides, it's nice to have some company on the drive home." They talked easily about the long project they just finished, sharing jokes about the funny things that happened during the day. Then a comfortable quiet settled between them, the kind that only comes from knowing someone well. The radio played soft music, and the city lights blurred outside the windows. Daniel noticed Marcus took a turn he didn't expect. This wasn't the usual way to his apartment. He figured Marcus might be taking a shortcut or dropping someone else off first, but a tiny flicker of curiosity sparked in his mind. He decided not to ask, just enjoying the ride. The soft music from the radio continued, a gentle hum against the quiet of the night. They drove for a few more minutes, the streets becoming less busy, the houses darker. Daniel was just starting to wonder if he should ask about the route when Marcus slowed the car. Instead of turning onto a street Daniel recognized, Marcus pulled the car over to the side of a quiet, tree-lined road. It wasn't completely dark, as a distant street lamp cast a yellow glow, but there were no other cars or houses nearby. Marcus turned off the engine. The car went silent, the music fading with the power. Daniel looked at him, confused. His brow furrowed slightly. This definitely wasn't on the way to his place. "Everything all right, Marcus?" Daniel asked, his voice calm. He wasn't worried yet, just puzzled. Maybe Marcus had to check something on his phone, or perhaps he just needed a moment before driving on. He waited patiently for an answer, watching Marcus in the dim light. Marcus turned his head slowly to look at Daniel, his face half hidden in the shadows. He didn't answer right away. Instead, his hand moved not to his phone but to the door lock button. Click. The small sound of the locks engaging echoed loudly in the sudden, deep silence of the car. It was a soft sound, but in that moment, it felt like a hammer striking an anvil. Daniel's calm puzzle instantly turned into a jolt of alarm. His breath caught in his throat. His eyes darted to the door handle, then back to Marcus. The yellow glow from the distant street lamp barely reached Marcus's face, making his expression hard to read. What was happening? Why would he lock the doors? A cold wave of unease washed over Daniel. Suddenly, the quiet street felt less peaceful and more isolating. Daniel's heart, which had been beating normally just moments ago, now started to pound a little faster in his chest. He swallowed, trying to clear the sudden dryness in his mouth. He still didn't speak, waiting for Marcus to explain, but a knot of worry began to tighten in his stomach. Marcus finally spoke, breaking the heavy silence. His voice was low, almost a whisper, and Daniel could hear a slight tremble in it. It was a sound he'd never heard from Marcus before. "Daniel," Marcus began, his gaze fixed on him, I didn't pull over for a shortcut. Or to check my phone." He took a deep breath. "I've wanted to tell you something for a long time." Daniel's heart continued its fast rhythm. He braced himself, not knowing what to expect. Was this about work, something serious? Marcus's next words came out in a rush, as if he'd been holding them in for ages. "I've had feelings for you, Daniel, for months now, more than just coworkers, more than friends." He shifted slightly in his seat, his hands gripping the steering wheel. "Every day at the office, seeing you, talking to you, it's been hard to keep inside." Daniel stared at him, completely surprised. His mind went blank. Marcus. Him, he hadn't seen any signs, hadn't thought of Marcus that way at all. He didn't know what to say, what to do. A mix of shock and something else, something warm and confusing, swirled inside him. He was truly unsure how to react. The space inside Marcus's car, which had felt comfortably cozy moments before, now seemed to shrink around Daniel. It felt too small, too close, the air thick with Marcus's words and Daniel's shock. He could feel Marcus's eyes on him, waiting for an answer, and the pressure was immense. Daniel's mind raced, trying to find the right words, any words. His throat was still dry. A strange, nervous sound escaped him, a short, breathy laugh that was meant to be light, meant to break the sudden, heavy quiet. But it didn't. Instead, it only made the tension in the small space more noticeable, more awkward. He shifted uncomfortably in his seat, his gaze flicking from Marcus's face to the dark window beside him. He could see his own reflection, wide-eyed and stunned. The silence stretched, filled only with the frantic beating of Daniel's heart. He could feel heat rising in his cheeks. This was not how he expected his ride home to end. Marcus saw Daniel's nervous laugh and his uneasy shift. He understood Daniel was surprised, maybe even a little scared. Instead of pushing, he moved slowly, carefully. He unbuckled his seatbelt, turning his body more towards Daniel. The movement was soft, not sudden. Then Marcus reached out, his hand moving with a gentle slowness. His fingertips brushed against Daniel's arm just above the elbow. It wasn't a firm grab, but a light, questioning touch, as if asking permission without words. A shiver, quick and unexpected, ran through Daniel. It wasn't from cold, nor entirely from fear. It was a strange mix of shock, a spark of something new, and a warmth that spread from where Marcus's skin met his. His breath hitched again, but this time it felt different. The touch was soft, yet it felt like a jolt, making every nerve ending suddenly aware. He didn't pull away. He couldn't. His gaze, which had been darting around, now fixed on Marcus's hand on his arm, and then slowly, cautiously lifted to Marcus's eyes. The shiver quickly faded, leaving behind a curious warmth. Daniel's surprise was still there, a big wave of it, but now it was mixed with something else. It was a strange, soft pull towards Marcus, like a quiet hum that had always been there, but he'd never noticed until now. He looked into Marcus's eyes, and in the dim light he saw a deep hope, a worry, and a gentle longing that made his own stomach flutter. The air inside the car felt thick, not just with quiet, but with all the feelings that Marcus had just spoken, and all the new, confusing feelings bubbling up inside Daniel. It was heavy with things unsaid, with questions hanging in the air. Daniel didn't move. He felt like he was caught in a moment outside of time, held by Marcus's touch and his gaze. His mind was still trying to catch up, to make sense of this unexpected turn. But his body, strangely, felt a quiet hum of its own, drawn closer to the warmth of Marcus beside him. Seeing Daniel's gaze fixed on him, Marcus took a shaky breath, his hand still gently resting on Daniel's arm. He knew he had to say more to make his feelings clear, even if it scared him. "It's not just feelings, Daniel," Marcus said, his voice a little stronger now, though still soft. His eyes searched Daniel's face, looking for any sign, any hint of what Daniel was thinking. "I want you. I've wanted to touch you, to kiss you for so long." He moved his thumb slightly on Daniel's arm, a small, tender movement. "It's more than just a crush, it's a deep desire." The words, spoken so openly, hit Daniel with a new force. His heart, already doing a frantic dance, now pounded even harder. He could feel it in his ears, a loud, thumping rhythm that seemed to fill the car. He felt a blush creep up his neck and into his face. Desire. The word hung in the air, heavy and exciting. Daniel's breath became shallow, his body suddenly hot. He could feel the warmth of Marcus's hand through his shirt, a burning spot that made him incredibly aware of their closeness. Daniel's mind raced, a jumble of thoughts and feelings. He knew he should say something, perhaps pull away, but he couldn't. He hesitated, caught between the shock of Marcus's words and a growing warmth that felt strangely right. The small space of the car, the quiet night, Marcus's steady gaze, and the burning touch on his arm were all powerful. He could feel the heat radiating from Marcus, the soft brush of their knees almost touching. Marcus's voice, low and honest, still echoed in his mind. "I want you." Those words were like a spell pulling him in. Slowly, without even realizing he was doing it at first, Daniel leaned in, just a little. It wasn't a big move, but it was a clear one, a silent answer to Marcus's brave confession. His breath hitched again, but this time it was with a different kind of anticipation. His eyes, wide and searching, met Marcus's, and in that shared look, hesitation began to fade, replaced by a thrilling, undeniable curiosity. The slight lean from Daniel was all the answer Marcus needed. A small, hopeful smile touched Marcus's lips. For Daniel, the initial shock and worry that had tied knots in his stomach began to loosen, replaced by a growing, undeniable desire. It was a feeling he hadn't expected, a powerful warmth spreading through his veins. The quiet of the car was no longer heavy with tension, but buzzed with a different kind of energy. The air felt charged, almost electric, making the small space feel vibrant and alive. Every nerve in Daniel's body seemed to tingle, aware of Marcus's closeness, the warmth of his hand, the depth in his eyes. His mind stopped trying to figure things out. Instead, it gave into the moment, to the strong pull he felt towards Marcus. The thought of Marcus wanting him, truly wanting him, was intoxicating. It was a new, exciting feeling, pushing away all his doubts. Daniel's breath came a little faster, his own desire mirroring the clear longing he saw in Marcus's gaze. This wasn't just curiosity anymore, it was a powerful, sweet yearning. Marcus's hopeful smile widened a little as Daniel leaned in. That small movement was an invitation, a silent yes to all the feelings hanging in the air. The electricity in the car sparked even brighter. With a soft intake of breath, Marcus moved, slowly closing the small distance between them. His hand left Daniel's arm, only to gently cup his cheek, his thumb stroking softly. Daniel felt his eyes flutter closed for a moment, then open again, watching Marcus's face draw closer. Then their lips met. It was a first kiss, tentative and soft, like a question and an answer all at once. It was tender, full of the long-held feelings Marcus had just shared, and the new, exciting ones blossoming inside Daniel. The taste of Marcus was warm and surprising, like a missing piece Daniel hadn't known he was looking for. For that moment, the quiet street, the late hour, and all their worries faded away. There was only the gentle press of their lips, a silent promise in the heart of the night. The first kiss was a gentle start, a whisper of what was to come. Then, as if a dam had broken, the tenderness deepened. Marcus's hand moved from Daniel's cheek to the back of his neck, pulling him closer. Daniel's hands, which had been resting uncertainly in his lap, now rose to Marcus's shoulders, holding on tight. The kiss grew more sure, more hungry, filled with all the months of unspoken feelings from Marcus, and the sudden, fiery excitement that had awakened in Daniel. Their lips moved together, a perfect fit, and a soft moan escaped Daniel's throat. It was a sound of pure pleasure, a surrender to the moment. The small car, the quiet street, the distant street lamp, all of it faded away. There was only the warmth of Marcus, the taste of his lips, and the thrilling rush of feeling. The world outside the car ceased to exist, replaced by a universe of two. Daniel felt like he was floating, lost in a kiss that promised so much more than just a ride home. Every part of him was alive, tingling with a joyful heat. Slowly, reluctantly, they pulled apart, their lips lingering for another soft brush before breaking contact completely. Both were breathless, their chests rising and falling quickly, but their eyes were bright. Daniel felt a dizzying happiness bubble up inside him. A wide, genuine smile spread across Daniel's face, matching the joyful grin on Marcus's. The earlier tension, which had filled the car with awkwardness and fear, was completely gone. In its place was something warm and wonderful, like sunshine after a long storm. The confined space of the car now felt intimate and safe, a little bubble of happiness. "Wow," Daniel whispered, his voice still a little shaky, but this time from delight, not nerves. He couldn't stop smiling. His hands, still resting on Marcus's shoulders, squeezed gently. Marcus chuckled softly, a sound full of relief and pure joy. "Yeah, wow." He gently moved his hand from Daniel's neck to cup his jaw, his thumb stroking Daniel's cheekbone. The look in his eyes was tender, full of a love Daniel had never expected to see. All the fear, all the uncertainty, had turned into a sweet, glowing peace. After a few more soft glances and shared smiles, Marcus started the car again. The engine purred to life, a gentle sound after the intensity of their kiss. He slowly pulled away from the curb, turning the car back towards the main road. This time, he headed directly towards Daniel's apartment. The ride home was completely different from the earlier one. The comfortable quiet was still there, but now it was filled with a new understanding, a deep connection that hummed between them. Daniel leaned his head back, watching the passing lights, a happy sigh escaping him. He felt light, joyful, and completely at ease. Marcus reached over and gently took Daniel's hand, lacing their fingers together. The simple touch sent a wave of warmth through Daniel. They didn't talk much, but they didn't need to. Every shared glance, every soft squeeze of their hands spoke volumes. The air was no longer thick with unspoken wants, but with quiet promises and the sweet glow of new beginnings. It was a ride home Daniel would never forget. As Marcus pulled up to Daniel's apartment building, neither of them wanted the journey to end. The soft glow of the porch light cast a warm welcome, but leaving the car felt like breaking a spell. Marcus turned off the engine but didn't unlock the doors right away. Their hands were still laced together, a warm, comforting hold. So Daniel began, a shy smile playing on his lips. This was quite a ride. Marcus chuckled, squeezing Daniel's hand. "It definitely was, but the best kind, I think." He looked at Daniel, his eyes shining in the dim light. "Can I see you again soon, like not at work but just us?" Daniel's smile widened. "I'd really like that, Marcus, very much." He felt a rush of eagerness. This was new and exciting, and he couldn't wait to see where it would lead. "Tomorrow night, maybe dinner." "Dinner sounds perfect," Marcus said, his voice full of happiness. He leaned in and gave Daniel a quick, soft kiss on the forehead. "I'll text you." Finally, with a soft click, Marcus unlocked the doors. Daniel stepped out, feeling a lightness in his step he hadn't had in years. He waved as Marcus drove away, a sweet, hopeful feeling blooming in his chest. This was just the beginning.